Brutalism is an architectural style popularized in the 1950s by modernist architects such as Louis Kahn, Le Corbusier, Erno Goldfinger, and Oscar Niemeyer. The term brutalism, coined by architects Allison and Peter Smithson, comes from the French béton brut, which refers to raw concrete. This style is rather polarizing. In fact, I would say that most people hate it. Brutalist buildings are often thought to be horrendously ugly, such as this one at my university campus, which has been nicknamed the Blender. As a result of this poor reception, buildings of this style are often neglected and fall into disrepair, making them unpleasant to visit and creating a negative feedback loop. That being said, the architects who developed the Brutalist style did so with a sort of optimism. These buildings were often large-scale public housing projects or other government-owned buildings. Brutalism worked for this because concrete buildings could be cheaply constructed on a massive scale while maintaining a sort of sculptural quality to keep them interesting and unique. I haven't seen many people attempt to build brutalist monstrosities in Minecraft. That's probably because the general consensus is that when you build something in Minecraft, you should try to keep it as colorful and vibrant as possible, and avoid large swaths of gray. And when people do end up building with gray blocks, they usually vary it up and include lots of cobblestone or stone brick variants. So I figured brutalism would present an interesting challenge in Minecraft. As you can see, I had to balance the overwhelming amount of smooth gray by making sure the form of the building was interesting to look at. I actually tried to make the structural aspects of the building make sense, as though there's an external bracing system holding the whole building together. You've been watching me build the Bank of Elsewhere. I've been planning to build this for the whole season, and this is actually the first plot of land I bought all the way back before I even built the port. So, I have so many plans for what's going to go on inside of here, but you're gonna have to wait and see what those are in a future episode. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out. Well, that was fun. A little bit of architecture. I myself am an architecture student, so I figured, why not share some of my knowledge with you today? Welcome back to Elsewhere. We're gonna be taking a visit here to the skin bin, and if you don't know what this is, it's a it's a skin replacement sort of service. He's got some tools out back, but I've been feeling a little like the skin is getting a little loosey-goosey, kind of like, I don't know, floppy. I don't know, I can't see much of it. All I can see is this arm here. I mean, it's getting old. I've been looking at this same arm for a long time here. Like, I can't actually see anything else. There's not any, reflections. I look in the water. I don't see anything. So, I don't really know what I look like. There's these guys. I've got some heads lying around. But yeah, I'm sure I could use a new look. I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling it. If you look inside the skin bin here, there's a couple of different things we gotta do. It's 2 diamonds per skin replacement. We can go ahead and pay that. Over here, we have to recycle our old skin. So I think that means I need to go chop off my skin. Yeah, I think I have down in the dungeon. Actually, I think I have a way to do that. But we'll do that in just a sec. And then we just gotta wash ourselves off. I'm not gonna hop in there yet, because I'm probably really dirty right now. But once I shed my old skin, I'll have a nice pristine surface on the outside. And that will, I can hop in there. But yeah, let's see if we can find a good way to go rip off the old skin. Alright, we are back at the skin bin, and we've got our head. That's kind of weird looking. What is that purpley stuff coming out of my eyes and mouth? I guess I don't know what I look like. Yeah, hang on. I thought I looked like that. What is that ooze? I don't know what that ooze is. Anyways, we don't really have mirrors in Minecraft, so I can't really tell what I look like, so I might have to install a mirror at my base so I can see, because that is not what I look like. I promise you that's not what I look like. I must have gotten something on this when I ripped it off. I don't know. But yeah, we're supposed to toss this in here, and I'll just chill in this tub until Dak gets here, because he's gonna be the one procuring a new skin for us.
You spooked me.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here.
Yeah, so we have an appointment.
Uh-huh. As you may have noticed, I took the liberty of removing my own skin.
I did notice, yes.
Yeah, I've just been chilling in this basin over here for the past, like, I don't know. I don't want to get like infection or anything, but like, you know, I'm all kind of like red and muscly probably, right? Like I can't really see myself because
Not quite red. No, no, no. I mean, muscly maybe a little bit. You know, I can see some of the internal, there, but it seems you've got your intestines right out there. Your sternum is concerningly visible. But yeah, I can. Something seems to have gotten up in you, and I actually have a solution. So I messaged you telling you that I'd been working on a new technology over at Synthco.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've noticed you've been looking a little ill lately. So I see you've recycled your old skin here. Yeah. So we can look at that. Look. Even after you've cut it off.
See, I noticed there was something weird about like the eye area, but like I figured it like, and also like the mouth. Like I don't really know what that is though. So like.
Well, I've been noticing this, and I'm not one big on vanity or anything, but it looked like you were ill, and not not like a style choice, but more like some sort of tar was oozing out of your orifices. So, but yeah, look, there's still some of this grime. Like, look, I can pull it off. Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, I've been feeling a little off, but like I couldn't really put a finger on it, like.
Yeah. So, but I noticed that, so I started working on some stuff, and I took a sample when you weren't looking, and I found something that I think will interest you. But let's go ahead and move this. So yeah, I found something, and it's a procedure that we can do. You're familiar with how you cure sort of zombie villagers, right? Well, I found this mysterious potion, and then I've been working on a new type of dye. Synthco works in all types of dyes and colored items.
Of course.
But a new type of dye to try to purge some of this out of you. So I'm thinking we might be able to work and give you sort of I'm worried that maybe whatever this is eaten a lot of the base material, and I'm not sure there's a lot to work with there. If we put a new skin on you and wash all of this gunk out, I'm not sure you'll survive. So I've come up with a solution. I've come up with a solution, and these two things together, I think we can use as sort of a power source for you. So we're actually going to be scrubbing your old skin and your internals, I guess. It looks like we're going to have to do those too.
Yeah.
And scrubbing those clean, getting all the gunk out, and then I'm gonna fit you up with some new pieces. How's that sound?
Sounds
all right. So
good
let's
to me.
let's go ahead. Step in here. I don't even need my scalpel today. You already did that for me.
Yep.
So go ahead and get in the tub. It says till the water's brown, but I think it's gonna turn purple here. So go ahead and let's get you scrubbed up.
All right.
All right. So we have scrubbed it all out. We've put the old skin that you had back on. I wanted to see it, kind of lay it out here, because what I have for you is, it depends. What do you count as skin? Because robots count metal as skin. So, I'm noticing you got this big hole in your chest. Have you noticed that?
I mean, well, okay. So here's the thing. If you look down, you can't see anything.
Yeah, there's no body. There's no body.
So
there?
like I don't really know like what my body's looking like right now. Like
Yeah. So you've got a big hole in your chest. Let me clear that up real quick.
Huh.
There's a big giant hole gaping in your chest. It also looks like after I've cleaned you out here, your eyes and like your mouth and stuff. There's nothing. You don't have any eyes, dude. There's nothing in there.
Huh.
I'm wondering if whatever was in you just ate out all the organs, mostly.
It's possible.
So I've got a solution. Okay. Like I said, sort of this potion, this dye stuff that I found, I made it out of a mineral that I actually found near your base.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is going to sort of solve here. So I'm going to cover up that hole, and we're going to install some new pieces into you. Okay. So
Right.
so this might be a little bit painful, and instead of the scalpel that I usually use, we're going to be using more of like a sort of hammer situation here. So. Just prepare. I don't know if you have any nerves left, but you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I don't know.
All right, let's go here. All right, and I think that should do it. I've put quite a bit of dye in you, and looks like it's taken center, kind of where your heart should be, but your eyes are glowing now. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. It's a good look. It's a good look. That's for sure. Careful.
Well, I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, the stitches and the nails. You know, those might be raw for a few days. I'm not actually sure. Can you feel anything anymore?
Do you mean like feelings or like emotions?
No, I meant like feel like nerves. Do you have?
Yes.
Like here. If I punch you, does that hurt?
Yeah, that hurts. But
Okay.
in terms of emotions, I can no longer feel those.
Oh, that's an interesting side effect. I suppose when you put, weird minerals into dyes and then inject them into people's bodies, there's probably going to be some odd side effects, but it's good to know. It's good to know. I still have 43 of this, so applications are endless.
Yeah, you can turn 43 more people into emotionless cyborgs or whatever.
Well. We don't need to use it for that. Now I have a sample of the goo that was inside of you from your old skin. So I might do some testing.
Yeah. Let me know if you find anything interesting about that.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll all be above the grade.
I mean,
perfectly safe.
I certainly won't find it interesting because that would be an emotional response. So.
Well, I mean, what is interest? I
would like to know about it.
Yeah, you can have a sort of a logical inquiry there. Well, I would say I'm glad you're happy with your new look, but it sounds like you can't be happy anymore. So
I cannot.
I'm glad that you are satisfied. Is that? I think satisfied is not an emotion.
I suppose, yeah.
Adequate,
It is incredibly adequate.
Wonderful. So I'm sure you'll leave a good review, just like all my other patrons, for the adequate job that was done.
Certainly.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better physically. The emotional side, not sure what to do about that, but I'm sure you'll figure something out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye. Well, that was certainly a thing that we did. My eyes are now apparently glowing, so that's also a thing. I will continue to do things in future episodes. In order to ensure that you are not left out when I do other things, you must subscribe. If you have any suggestions as to how I might regain the ability to feel emotions, please leave them in the comments. They might be helpful. The video is over now. Please go away.